You're now tuned into the second season of Atypical Voices in Our Time with co-hosts Jay Stokes, Koya, and Jay Random.
Okay, let's take 12 now. Let's take 2.
Welcome to the AVIOT podcast, y'all.
That's AVIOT.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's the AVIOT podcast. I'm your gracious co-host, Jay Stokes, joined by Koya and Jay Random. We have a very special guest today, and it is Toya. What is going on?
Hello.
Hey,
Toya.
good night, everyone.
Hey, Toya, how you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Glad to be here with you all.
All right, that's what's up. So, Latoya, do you want to be called Latoya or Toya? Which do you prefer?
Toya is perfectly fine. I feel more at home when it's, shortened.
Toya? Gotcha. Toya it is.
All right,
Yes.
All right. That's what's up. All right, so Toya, can you first, before we get into everything that's going on tonight, can you first just tell the audience a little bit about yourself, what you do, and a little bit about your background?
Sure. So thank you so much for the welcome. Thank you for the invitation. I'm so happy to be here. A little bit about myself. I think I'd always start with I'm a Brooklynite. Brooklyn born and raised, still reside here, but in the fall, I'll be moving to the DMV, to Washington, D.C., because I am now going to be starting my PhD program. So that's the big news of the month for me.
Congratulations.
Thank
There we
you.
go. Congrats.
Yes. Looking forward to making that move.
I hear that.
Congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
saw you had a blog. You do a blog. Jared sent us the link. You want to tell us about that?
Absolutely. You did your research. I love it.
Prepared.
Yes. So I have a blog. It's called Not So Glam Are Us. And it was really birthed because I felt like there weren't enough young millennial moms out there who were connected. I go to a church and it's a lot of older moms, but I still felt like I was at that intersectionality where I couldn't really relate to everyone. I have my young friends, I have the older moms, but I didn't have that intersection. So I created that to be a voice for millennial moms who are, going with raising a child, rearing a child, but also, going through the coming of age adulting phase. So that is definitely a passion of mine. And I would like to share that I will be starting a podcast soon. So I hope that the next time, I do come on, I could share a lot more about that, because I'd love to be a voice in that space and, just be a source of motivation for young moms, especially.
Oh, very nice. I enjoyed it. I read a few of the articles. I thought it was cute, relatable. I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Shakoya. Appreciate that.
All right. So, Koi, Random, what's going on with y'all? Y'all good?
Hey, guys. My usual. I'm good.
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I'm good. It's Wednesday.
Every day is every day, Jared. We don't have nothing exciting.
I mean, Gary, we work. Listen, I know for me, I work from home. Koi's in the house every day, so it's not nothing exciting.
Yeah.
I was gonna go wash my car today. That's not exciting, but
Wow.
I was gonna leave the house for a split second.
Make sure you cut that part, because that's the best you could do. Just stop it. Jesus Christ.
Shaking my head.
What's on the agenda, sir?
The
You want to
agenda,
talk about the car wash.
the agenda is pretty jam-packed, but it's jam-packed speaking on one overarching subject, because news was a little bit slow as of late. But, and I apologize. Nope, Koi. I apologize to y'all ahead of time in the group chat, so don't even make that face.
What?
Nope. So,
Oh, no.
yeah, so we're going to be talking about this Meghan Markle, could we call him Prince Harry anymore, or is it ex-Prince Harry interview with...
Call him Prince Harry. That's
Okay. Prince Harry interview with Oprah Winfrey. So did y'all get a chance to see that at all?
No, I just saw the memes. I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it. I'm sorry. I was going to watch it today, but then I got busy with work. So I was like, dang, because I know we were going to talk about it. But no, only thing I remember seeing, not even the show, was just Piers Morgan. He was acting a fool. So I think he stole the show even, if you think about it.
Yeah, we'll address that a little later on. What about you, Toya? What about...
I sure did watch it. I put it in my calendar. I was ready, okay? I also watched the wedding, so it just felt like a sad part of that experience, because I remember the jubilance and the excitement with her, getting married, and then to see them kind of exit the royal family. I don't think it's anything anyone really, anticipated, just thinking about that, but I sure did watch it.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts, Toya?
I would say initial, that meme that you were sharing with Oprah with the jaw dropping.
Yeah,
I really was just like, yeah, I was super shocked. But then when you really think about it, when you reflect, it's just like, the royal family is an institution based in colonialism and racism and uprooting. Yeah. And so it's like, I get it, but it's something that we didn't anticipate or want. I feel like we all were collectively sort of kind of rooting for her as Black women to kind of make it,
Oh.
Speaking for me.
Wait a minute. Is that a Whoopi Goldberg response?
Okay.
Oh.
No.
Toya did a Whoopi on us.
I'm sorry. Okay, Toya. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. She's so, like, when women, I don't know if this is like, I don't know, but when people are really, really, really light already, I just don't think that they have the same problems as like really brown people. So I just didn't even correlate, like, oh, look at that Black woman marrying Prince Harry. Like, that didn't work for me, But, yeah, I don't know why she was surprised that they're racist. So I was just like, oh, okay. I don't know, everything. I don't know. I've seen it all happen beforehand. Like, why would they be supportive of her being Black? I remember one of my customers called her Blackie.
Oh, really?
But I was in the bathroom, but she said it to somebody else that didn't look brown like me. But yeah, no. I don't know. I didn't really when I look at her, I don't really think of an African American woman. So I didn't really put two and two together like that.
So that kind of leads into the first kind of section of this conversation regarding the interview. And pretty much within the interview, Meghan said that she didn't do any research on Prince Harry, or the royal family before marrying into the family.
You were kidding,
and
right?
I wanted to know, what are your thoughts on that, everybody? So
I think that's really strange. Nowadays you need to do some background on people before you decide to go out with them. You might not make it home. People don't be living right. So, yeah, I think it's best to do research. But, she knew he was Prince Harry. Like, come on now, girl.
Right.
For real. I did hear that she said she didn't know how to do a curtsy or something like that. Something weird. Some of it was dragged out, it seemed like. But, I don't know.
If you're listening to the AVIOT podcast on a streaming service, make sure to leave a rating and a review so we can grow our platform.
Toya?
I feel like I wanted to believe her when she said she didn't do research, but I just find that so far-fetched because I feel like any modern day woman who's like online dating or meeting someone is going to do a full sleuth like background check. They're going to check the social medias. They're going to check the LinkedIns if they're professionals. They're gonna check criminal history. Can we be real?
I sure know CTDOL. I want to know everything, like DOC. I want to know
all the facts. I feel like
home, let me know. Yeah.
Right. I think where she would be limited is just knowing the extent of what the royal family does not share, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of information that's hidden. But I feel like even with the sensationalized, like he's the son of Princess Diana, at least knowing the history that surrounds the tragedy that he's experienced and encountered in his life, I feel like at least she should know that and know that there's some murky waters that she was getting into.
That's correct.
Yeah, unless she was really one of those people, like once they fall in love, they just put on the rose-colored glasses and they don't really see anything else outside of the person that they're with. So that could have been the case possibly, but I do find that a little weird.
I'm glad you mentioned that, but Random, I want to hear your opinion before I jump on what Coy said about this whole love thing. So go ahead, Random.
No, only thing I was going to say was I'm not surprised of what's going on with her, but in the same token, I find it odd that she didn't do her research, like Toya said, or like Coy said, at least do your research on his mother.
Yes.
At least, so I don't know. I feel like she might not be telling the truth. And I think but she also looks worse by saying she didn't do any research because it's not like you're marrying a regular Joe Schmo. You're marrying a prince or third in line, something like that. But still, you're right.
Net worth, the whole shit.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. So I find it odd that she actually even came out and said that, because I think it even makes her look worse and make the British people feel better about how they feel about her. Because right about now, they already said that she didn't really take this serious. I already mentioned Piers Morgan, but I know it has to be more than just him. Can anybody hear me? I see Corey looking. Okay, I just want to make sure.
No, I can hear you. I was just absorbing it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So going back to this love topic, do you think, and Toya, I want you to take it away first. Mm-hmm. Do you think that the whole marriage in the first place, how much of it do you think like love was involved? Do you think this truly, because we know Prince Harry has a history of doing his thing, and then he has a history. He has a history. He's been known to be a little wild child, like more of the rebellious spirit, and he messed around with women of different flavors, I should say. So
Harry's been mixed up with drink and drugs. He's run around with a bad crowd. He's got into scrapes with photographers outside nightclubs. He can have a great time. He can date any girl in the world.
He's been around, and then Meghan, coming from her background as an actress, and she's used to kind of being more so in the limelight. So Toya, like, how much of it do you think like love was really a component in the marriage in the first place?
Well, this is her second marriage. I do know that much. So I feel like she was.
Y'all spilling the tea today. I didn't know that. Okay, sorry to cut you off.
Really following her.
Okay.
So she was known, and the British tabloids really wanted to hype that up, like, oh, she's a divorcee, and they really wanted to cast a negative light on her, just being that she's American, she's biracial, she's a divorcee, right? So I think for her going into it, I think there would be a lot more investment, because no woman wants to get married 3 times. Nope. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like for her, there was a lot more investment in the love department. And it's not a bad deal in the sense that, okay, you're marrying into wealth, you're marrying into, royalty. And then you're also, even though she's fair skinned, serving a platform, because going into it as well, she and Harry had a lot in common in that they really care about social justice issues. I think it was not rumored, it's true that the diamond that she got was like from Africa, sourced from Africa, which is not the best thing because of colonialist history, right? Ooh. But it mattered to them because they had that shared investment in terms of social justice issues. So I think there was a lot more to it. I think they have a lot in common. I've seen Prince Harry like dancing in Africa. Like, he's really the down brother. He really is. He has a lot more rhythm. He has a lot more investment. He has a lot more relatability amongst people in the Commonwealth who are not white. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they could relate and they can build a love based on those commonalities.
Okay. Who else wants to go next?
Jay Stokes, won't you go? We haven't heard from you.
Oh no,
me? Nah. I'm just spitballing questions. I'll give you my take later, but go ahead.
Okay.
What do you want us to say? Like, do you think it was based on love?
Yeah, yes. Like how much of it do you think love is a component?
I think that they love each other now. Did they initially? Who knows?
That's fair.
But it definitely looks like they're completely invested at this point. See, as you can all tell at this point, I don't know nothing about them for real. But from what I can see, current day, they look like they are in love and they care about each other. So that's good enough for me. It doesn't always start off like, oh, I love him so much. It ain't always like that, especially for women. Sometimes you just be marrying people.
Wow.
They go get into all the details as to why. But sometimes that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? So then we learn to love them later. And maybe she learns.
So y'all like them. Y'all like them at first, and then you probably
sometimes
grow into love. Okay.
Yeah.
Grow into it. Gotcha.
Okay. Randall?
I like that.
I noticed I tell on myself too much, so I'm gonna take it easy because last week I said too much, and people was DMing me like, "Oh, you said that." I'm like, "Huh?"
Last week, I couldn't get last week's show out of my head last week. Corey. No, yo, you went off.
That's why so many people were looking at it. Cause I was looking at the stats. Okay, all right. Well,
that's about a lot.
Hey, so no, all I gotta say is, hey, like Coy said, I think now they invested. I really don't know too much about them. It's one of those, he was dating this girl. The next he was dating Meghan. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mess up her name. Yeah. I didn't want to mess it up. Yeah.
Not Italian, but Markle.
Yeah, exactly. Markle. So, hey, Do they love each other now? I think they have to. I mean, because they started something. They started something. So it's them against the world. So that's what I mean by they have to. They started something. All
right. So y'all wanted my opinion. All right.
Yep.
Oh my Lord.
So us looking on the outside, we can't tell what's in somebody's heart. However, I'll start with Meghan first. I think from a standpoint, she did come in with rose-colored glasses because he's a prince and he's royalty and he has access to all this wealth. Her being also a fair-skinned or lighter-skinned Black woman in America, because, the one-drop rule still applies today.
Yes.
She found out.
Maybe Archie found out for real.
Right. She probably came into this thinking she had some semblance of whiteness, like that she was sort of like, oh, well, I'm not really black. So she probably had that idea that she was sort of like a white woman. She joined a white sorority when she was younger. So she's been in these white circles, these white areas. She was in that show Suits, having flings with white dudes on that show. So it's like she was engulfed in whiteness. So her going to be with Harry, I think that she's thinking, oh, I like him because of maybe she grew to like his personality, but the initial attraction was this is a prince with wealth.
Yes, sir.
And then she probably didn't think anything of her joining this because she already had that thing in her head of, well, I'm not really black. So that's why when you saw the headlines of Black women praising her for marrying into the royal family, that really troubled me because I'm saying if you are dark-skinned or brown-skinned, you're not going to get that same acceptance. So saying that you see yourself in Meghan, I'm like, she don't see herself in you. Damn. Seriously, she does not. So then on the flip side, when you go into Harry, him being the dude that likes to hang with different crowds and likes to dance and stuff like that, my thing is, because of the history of the British monarchy, how much of that is genuine and how much of that is fetishizing other cultures? Because look at how they got their money.
Calling him Justin Timberlake?
In a sense.
He's a culture vulture.
Culture vulture.
In a sense, because think about it. All of his money, all of his wealth, everything that the royal family has was stolen from our ancestors.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
You look at how many different Black areas in the world are colonized by British people. Like the British. Look at Jamaica, that's colonized by Britain, right? Look at Nigeria, colonized by Britain. That's how they got their money, and they were very active in the slave trade. So I'm saying that Prince Harry, coming from this background, if you really down like that, why weren't you calling this out? Why weren't you really?
I think he's younger than a lot of them. When you're the youngest one, sometimes they don't let you use your voice.
I mean, he's using it now.
Yeah, he got no choice. He got to get paid now.
He got to get paid now. He has to work
to the mountaintops. Like,
see that, right?
Before he couldn't.
Right. So I'm saying we can't ignore that fact. And Meghan, I don't really think she's that naive to say, oh, well, how did they gather this wealth? So her even marrying into it, in a sense, she's married. No. I'm saying she's not naive. I don't think she's naive enough to be like, oh, I don't know anything about how they got their money in the first place. So if you're marrying into that system, in a sense, you're kind of marrying into a white supremacist family and not thinking anything of it.
That's deep. I got to think about that.
Process that too.
Yeah, I got to process that because you ended it because I was all there until you ended it with that last.
I don't think
last few words
into stuff. I gotta see now. I gotta think. We gotta come back to that. But it does seem a little sus though. If that's where we at with that, then
I agree on that. I agree. It does seem kind of suspect, Yeah,
it is kind of suspect. Like if you think about it,
that's why I don't believe her. I'm pretty sure none of us believe that she didn't do her homework. Really?
Yeah, I don't believe that she didn't do her homework, but I do agree with you to the fact that she thought, oh yeah, I'm white enough to pass. I got this.
Right.
They had a trick for her ass though.
All I've been thinking about since I last answered your last question is that Meghan Markle's mom is a Black woman with locks. So I feel like behind closed doors, she a Black girl. I feel like when she go home to Harry, he sees the Black side of her. Now, in the larger context of colonialism and dealing with an institution that's larger than her, that precedes her. I feel like she felt powerless. What I do think is that she anticipated being that change. Like there was no Obama moment. Like, okay, I'm biracial, but I'm 1% Black. I'm half Black. I'm going to go in and I'm going to reconcile in some way, shape, or form the errors that the previous generation has done. I feel like a part of her was anticipating doing that. Do I agree with you though? Absolutely. I feel like she has to be complicit with that white supremacy to just operate and exist in that bubble. But I do feel like she kind of anticipated a different outcome.
Dang, Toya. Okay. I can't say nothing. I can't say nothing to that. Yo, you got me with that. Listen,
Okay.
I can't even
that was another drop the mic. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Playing today.
Look,
We should have watched it.
I know. Shoot, listen, I'm 50-50 on both of y'all now. I don't know.
I'm gonna remove myself away for the next topic.
Oh my goodness.
There you go, Corey. You're right though, Corey. Next time we gotta watch it. Next time we gotta do our homework.
Oh yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, this will happen when I invite guests. This will happen when I invite guests.
Yes.
I know. Damn. Okay. That's a heads up for next time.
Okay. So just moving on a little bit, going on to Meghan considering suicide, because she did say in this interview that she considered having suicide. And Toya, when you talk about her being that change and wanting to make that change, and then she saw that it wasn't happening and actually it stifled her voice, she was considering this. And I just wanted to ask you, just like, what do you think was going through her head during that time where she's like, yo, I just want to take my life now?
Oh my God. I think she just felt she wasn't heard. I think when people, and I'm going into counseling, I'm not licensed yet, so I will put that disclaimer out. But what I believe, people who consider suicide, there are always signs. There's usually a note, right? They want people to hear them. I feel like she felt like she wasn't heard. She shared that she had exhausted every sort of outlet that she could. She went to, whomever they go to within that institution, and no one would hear her out. No one would even I feel like as an institution, if you care about someone's well-being, even if you're doing it in the quiet, allow her to get the mental health that she needs. But they didn't even do that. She shares. So I feel like she just felt like she really wasn't heard. And I think that's what led her to do that. And, like Koya said before, he's the youngest. He's at the bottom. Prince Harry, he's at the bottom of the total pole in terms of like importance and relevance, I think. So I feel like even he was powerless to help her as well. And so that's what I think. That's my take on that. I do believe she kind of reached her wit's end because she was not heard in that family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do y'all think? People
with
who
Toya.
didn't study.
I'm with Toya.
There you go. I'm following. Yep, Toya, I'm there too.
Whatever Toya said.
Toya, listen, Toya, I'm gonna be honest, Toya. As you're talking, I'm saying to myself, dang, I wish I did my homework.
Right.
Yo, I feel like I showed up to it.
I was really that student, so I get it. I was that student in school. Like,
I feel like I showed up to a test not ready.
Yeah, pretty much. Didn't even look at one note. All I saw was the memes. But I mean, yeah, what you said is true. People who are suicidal, they do let you know, like you see the signs ahead of time if you're attentive and observant, so yeah.
Cool. Hey, Corey, she looked at the footnotes, Corey? You looked at the footnotes?
Yeah, the memes, the Oprah memes, they were so funny. They were so funny. The one they were like, "Are you silent?" I am silent. That's like the G and lasagna that had me crying. I thought it was so funny.
I am laughing because I'm saying to myself, Jay Stokes gave us this, and I looked at it, I was like, what are we doing today? I'm looking, nope. Next time Jay Stokes said it. Yeah, and you know what? I really was going to watch.
But the whole damn show was about this girl, so now I really should have came prepared. Usually I just show up.
All I can tell you was about Suits, the show I saw her in. I can't tell you anything.
Shaking my head.
I don't even know that. See, I'm done.
Suits is a good show.
We're gonna keep on with the suicide thing. Another thing that was brought up within the interview is that someone had, I think, asked Harry or questioned Harry how dark their child would be, their first child. And so this was something that was really concerning to Meghan when Harry relayed the message, although they're not saying who said this at all. And but there are some really...
They said everything else. Spill it all.
I feel like if they actually say that part though, then their lives might be in danger. So that's the only thing there. But what happened was they're not giving. They didn't want to give their first boy. I forget the boy's name. Toya, do you remember
Archie?
Archie. Yes, Archie. They didn't want to give him the title of prince at all, and they decided not to give them any security. And so Meghan said she felt like she had no protection, and she really felt scared for her life in a sense. And to me, I took this as, now Meghan actually feels what it feels like to really be Black, because we don't have protection. We deal with these microaggressions all the time. And I wonder, her being a biracial, high yellow individual, if she's ever dealt with this before.
No. Yeah. She hasn't.
You know what?
I don't even look at her and see a Black woman. Her mom looks really Black, though. But she just doesn't look Black to me.
And now for a quick commercial break.
AVIOT now has its own Instagram page. Make sure to follow us at AVIOT_podcast. That's AVIOT_podcast. There, you'll see some of the mess we get into off the mic, as well as some promo for other products associated with the podcast. Also, we have behind-the-scenes videos, just in case you want to get to know us more. Don't miss out.
No. I think she thought she was going to pass, and it didn't work out. Unfortunate.
So you got anything to say? Anything to add?
No, it's true. I actually saw an article that said that she looks like an Italian woman, which is, she could be Mediterranean, which is, I feel like she, like you said as well, Jerry, like she was in a white sorority. So I think not only phenotypically does she appear white, but her mannerisms and how she was brought up, she also, something else I wanted to talk about too is just the fact that she didn't have the protection from the British family. She also didn't have the protection from the white side of her family too. True. I don't think she anticipated that as well. Her dad
is off. Oh man.
Everybody left her. Yeah.
Yeah. Her dad just turned on her. I mean, side with your daughter. Instead, he's doing interviews saying, no, I don't believe.
Trying to get paid.
Yeah. He's like, I don't believe that they're racist. Like, really you heard what your daughter just said.
He ain't trying to hear. He's trying to get paid.
But, and why does he look like he drunk too? Don't look like he drunk.
He do his skin all red. You know how to
man, he ain't shaving a year. It just look bad.
He doing bad.
It's like, bro, come on, man. They could at least gave you some money.
Another thing too, with all the attacks that Meghan has endured, because it's pretty much all been on Meghan. No one's attacking Harry. Like he's off scot-free. But pretty much everything. Yeah, but everything she's gotten from the beginning. It's funny that Harry had said during an interview he didn't consider that race would be an issue. And that's my big thing when it comes to
naive and gullible. What are we doing?
But that's my big thing when it comes to interracial couples. Like, cool, if you choose to go forward in that path in life, that's cool. But
don't be surprised.
You
can't be naive. You can't go ahead, don't even start. You can't be naive. Really cool.
I'm just asking a question.
You can't be naive to the fact that these systems and these thoughts exist, and white people hold these powerful positions. And Meghan Markle might have not thought she was that Black before, but I bet you she know now.
She do. And that baby Black
in
too.
Effect.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe because of where he came from, it could be his background. Like, we never grew up in no palace, so we don't really know what life is like. He could be sheltered. He might not. Maybe he really doesn't know. Maybe he really doesn't. I don't know what they taught him over there, And they seem to be kind of like confined and restricted. Everything's really private, hush. So he really may have not known. I don't know.
He did say during the interview that he was trapped, but didn't know he was trapped. He did say that.
Well, that's probably from them keeping them so closed in, and that's just to protect the secrets of the palace. Really, is what it comes down to. They're trying to protect themselves, and in the process, he has to be sheltered, so he doesn't know what they're really about.
Yeah. This is very true. And I mean, we were talking about this at the beginning of y'all were talking about this at the beginning of the episode.
Who's y'all? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm just messing with you all day today. I'm sorry.
Y'all talking about this, like, if she didn't love her before, she loves her now. Yeah, she got to love her now because he pretty much stuck out his neck for her. He's leaving a life that he grew up in. And a lot of people are praising that, but I have a hard time praising that because I'm like, there's a lot at stake here. First off, he had a child with this woman, right? So that's number one. So now you have your child. So you're not going to abandon your child if you're a real man. You're not going to abandon your child.
Nope.
And then the other factor at play is, since they left the UK to Canada to begin with, can you imagine him walking back there? Can you imagine all the flack he would get, all the criticism?
He wants to go back. I don't even know if him like going out on a limb is necessarily like about her. It could be personal too. He could just be done with it. So at this point, it's like, I don't care if I ever go back or not. And I'm with her right now, so I'm a ride for her. But without her, I still don't want to go back. And I think that's where he is with that.
Well,
I think it may be personal as well.
I know you mentioned how him and his brother are not really speaking, and how his dad won't return his calls or answer his calls or something like that. So, I mean, it's already ugly, Yeah. It's like they already showed him their ass to kiss. So he probably like, what the hell with this?
And he's always been a rebel, like you said. So I don't think he's really that worried about it.
Exactly.
He's like, okay, I'll find something else to do if it doesn't work out,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if it's really like, I'm riding for her because she's my wife and I love her. No. I think it's like, I'm tired of these motherfuckers too. Let's go on a press. That's what I think.
That's true.
You got anything to add?
Yeah, I think that's the mic drop moment for real. Like, he's tired of them. He's tired of the red tape. I mean, we experience sometimes. I've experienced bureaucracy working for the government. They're working for the royal family. They're the definition of bureaucracy, titles and red tape and everything. I think he's totally just done with that as well. I think also what makes it worse, and he mentions this too, he didn't want a repeat of what happened to his mother.
True.
And I think that scares him. He went out and he talked about his mental health issues pertaining to depression.
I can safely say that losing my mum at the age of 12 and therefore shutting down all of my emotions for the last 20 years has had a quite serious effect on not only my personal life, but also my work as well.
Harry shared his story on a podcast dealing with mental health issues.
I, through a lot of my 20s, was a problem. I've probably been very close to a complete breakdown on numerous occasions.
And I think once his wife, confided in him that she was suicidal, I think that was the last straw. He was like, both of us got mental health triggers and they are just feeding into it. So I'm done. Like, my name holds enough weight. I'll pick up a deal wherever I go within the Commonwealth or any other country outside of this one. I don't need it.
You're right. You're exactly correct. And speaking of, and we only got like 2 minutes left, but speaking of don't need it, did y'all see that? Y'all were talking about the Piers Morgan interview at the beginning. He didn't need any more criticism because he was on Good Morning Britain. And this black guy was giving it to him. And he said, you know what? I'm done. He walked right off set.
And I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle, or had one, and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to. Has she said anything about you since she cut you off? I don't think she has, but yet you continue to trash her.
OK, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe not mine.
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do this.
This is absolutely diabolical behaviour.
Yeah. He's like that, though. He loves to be the center of attention. Like, his opinion is the end-all, be-all. I do not like him. I saw this show where he was, like, interviewing serial killers, and the black serial killers, he went extra hard on them. Oh, most people don't know black people are serial killers. So just like digging. Like, Piers Morgan, you're a racist. We get it. With an opinion. You got it. But you don't have to be an asshole every day.
And that he is.
Yeah, so with the last minute that we have left, Toya, just wanted to get your last thoughts on everything. And if you want to plug anything that you do, feel free. The floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. So, my final statements with this is, one, I'm happy that they were able to find refuge in these great United States, quote unquote, great. I think their wealth still protects them, but I think they have an added layer of understanding of the plight that Black people go through and anyone connected to us goes through. So I hope that they use their platform, that they use their Archwell Foundation to create content that uplifts and supports and, is positive and uplifting and, something that's going to just empower Black people, essentially. You know, I think they have no room to have any fluff when it comes to civil rights and racial justice. And I hope that they use their platform for that. And in terms of my platform, again, I will definitely would love to come back if you'd let me to share,
definitely.
you know, whatever podcast that I have, because that is definitely the near future for me. Thank you guys.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you definitely for coming on.
Wonderful time. Thank you, Toya. And
Toya, you definitely did your research, so kudos to that.
Thank you.
Next time, I'm going to come prepared. Jay Stokes, make sure it's something that I can come prepared, okay?
Okay. All right, y'all. It's been real. Have a good one.
Peace.
So go a little something like this. That's AVIOT.